Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I know that a lot of you did leave comments saying that you didn't mind whether I was in the video, and some of you did leave comments saying we want to see your face, and let me just tell you, you do not want to see this face right now, okay? I'm totally kidding, but I do want to mention that I will be making these type of videos when I'm like extremely busy, but I will also be making videos where I will be on the screen, so don't worry, I will be making a mixture of both kinds of videos just so that everyone can be happy. Okay guys, so for today, I'm gonna be reading a lot of the spooky stories that you guys left in my YouTube comments. I hope nobody is mad that I'm not reading any from Instagram or TikTok, but I feel like I have been neglecting my YouTube family. So today I am just going to be reading the stories that you guys leave in my comments. Let's get this started. Okay guys, this first story is from Ethan Moji. Hi Letty, my name is Ethan J. I really love your videos and I hope you read my story. This is a true story. Story number 1. Me and my two cousins, let's name them Lana and Abe, we were playing hide and seek in the evening outside in the gardens behind our house. Me and Abe were 7 at the time and Lana was 12. I started to count while they started to run and hide. I stopped counting and walked around trying to find them until I saw a figure behind a bush. I went behind it and found out that nothing was there. I was creeped out, but then I heard giggles and followed it. Eventually, I found them, and at 7:30 p.m., we started to go back inside. Suddenly, I saw something moving around in the bushes near our pool. We slowly walked towards the sound. We saw a pair of glowing eyes looking at us and slowly walking back, going in the darkness. We ran inside, locking the door. We were scared. We didn't sleep for 1 week. It was 2 a.m. when me and Abe saw it again. My brother Abe saw a creature standing in the hallway watching us sleep. He told me to look outside in the hallway. We closed his eyes as he came inside. We could feel its hot breath on us. Then it left. I don't know what happened, but we swore to never talk about it again. We told our parents and they gave us a concerning look and said, "Are you watching horror movies?" We were angry that they did not believe us. Parents never believe, gosh. I don't know if you guys will believe me or not, but this story is true. Okay guys, this next story is from Toga Shix. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not though. Hello from Puerto Rico. I have a story for you. I was about 5 or 6 years old when this happened. This happened in Puerto Rico. The house I lived in had bad history. People used to do bad things in it. It was a dark night and my mom and grandmother were at work. I was alone with my grandmother's friend. I was playing in the room where their clothing was kept. I'm gonna call my grandmother's friend C. C said, "I'm gonna be taking a bath." The bathroom was in front of the room I was in. She took long, but I was entertained and calm. I was looking around and I then suddenly see C coming out of the room next to mine. I was very confused. C then went downstairs. I followed her, but there was no one downstairs. I even walked a little bit around. It was pitch black, and then I panicked and went upstairs screaming and crying. I banged on the door and C said, "What?" I still remember every day. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what I understood was that C was in the restroom, but you saw her coming out of a different room, go downstairs, and when you went to go look, nobody was there, but she was actually still in the restroom. Okay, I got chills. This is so creepy. This next story is from Scorpio. Why did I say Scorpio like that? Scorpio. Scorpio. Scorpio, I am so sorry. Hi, I have a scary story to tell. By the way, just started following your TikTok. I love horror. Okay, let's get into it. My old house was haunted, so me and my sister, let's call her Katie. Me and Katie would always play Charlie. You already started bad, Scorpio. We know this is gonna be a scary one because you started playing these games. Scorpio, I am sorry again. Okay, let's go. Me and Katie would always play Charlie, and it worked. It didn't spook me since I was about 6, and we kept talking to him, going from Charlie to murdering me, so he said yes. But I was just mad at Katie for saying, "Are you going to kill Melvin?" That's me. And I was just mad, but one day we asked him something I can't remember. Then a balloon popped upstairs to my room. and I was scared. We didn't have a party or anything, so I was pretty scared. I've tried to connect with him a year ago. No answer though. Do not continue to try to connect. Wait, okay, so you heard a pop, like a balloon pop, but there was no balloons in your house? Okay, yeah, I would not be playing those games. No, thank you. Okay guys, this next story is from Reza Armens. I have a creepy story for you. Me and my family, older sister, mom, dad, and cat moved into a new house last year, but we had to go in 2 different houses first because the house was being built. So when we moved into our first rental house, I had this creepy feeling, but I brushed it off as I always listen to scary stories and that kind of thing. The first few weeks went fine, but then one night I was laying in bed. Mind you, this is not my house and it was creepy AF. So I was lying in bed and I woke up suddenly in the middle of the night. So of course I went and looked at my alarm clock and it was 3 in the morning. This does happen often though because I'm a light sleeper. So after I saw the time, I decided to go back to sleep. So I turned around and in my turn, I saw something at my door. It scared the crap out of me, so I looked at it and looked exactly like my dad. But his eyes were very creepy and he just stood there and watched. It was dark so I couldn't see much, but the thing just kept staring and this creepy look on its face. Me, the brave 11-year-old that I was at the time, decided to softly say, "Dad?" The thing still didn't move, so I said it again but louder, and then I felt this chill down my spine and I blinked. When I opened my eyes, it was still there. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to pull the blanket over my eyes and stay like that. So I did, and after about 2 minutes, I looked again and it was gone. Just like that. I told my parents about it and they didn't know anything about it. The night after that event happened again, but worse. This time, he was smaller and standing in my room at the end of my bed, next to my drawers. This time, I immediately went under my blanket and after 2 minutes, I looked and it was still there. I went under my blanket again and fell asleep. The next morning, I told my parents again and that night, it didn't happen again. This story actually happened in my old house. I was laying in a high bed when all of a sudden I felt and saw a finger coming from the side of my door towards me. I couldn't move as it touched me and then it disappeared. I asked my parents, but they hadn't been in my room that night. A few days later, I felt a body fall on me and my heart stopped for a few seconds. I couldn't breathe or move in that time. After that, I started crying. That is so crazy because when you said that you felt a body like fall on you, that's exactly what I used to feel when I suffered from like sleep paralysis. So I can definitely relate to you on that. It's so creepy. I have another one. This one is short. This happened to my sister when she was about 4 or 5 years old. They lived with my grandma, who is now dead, and their uncle died a few weeks prior. In the apartment, they had a small living room that was connected to the kitchen. In the living room, there was a chair where their uncle always sat and watched TV on the couch. This is important. One time, my sister was sitting at the table with my mom and dad, and out of nowhere, my sister says, "Look, there's a man again." Instantly, my dad's hair stood straight up. He said, "Okay, what does he look like?" My sister replied, "He has black hair and a beard." Then my mom asked, "What is he wearing, sweetie?" My sister said, "A green sweater and black pants." That's exactly how their uncle always looked. That is so crazy. Oh my gosh. I have a couple of stories, the first one being more serious. First story was told by my mom's grandpa. He would often go to a river that flowed from a mountain, cerro, to bathe. And one day he was bathing. A group of duendes appeared on the shore and started shouting at him and swearing at him. He says they threw sand from their pockets at him, home naked, and later where the sand hit him, it turned into a bad rash. The second story is more serious. My mom then had a cousin who was out picking berries and playing on a boulder with her grandpa when she disappeared. They searched for her for days and couldn't find her. Then days later, she showed up to town naked and completely insane. She went weeks without speaking a word, just a traumatized look on her face. She would randomly freak out and climb trees, suffering from what seemed like shock. She later told a story of little people carrying her and taking her under the boulders. She says there were light and dark ones, and the dark ones wanted to kill her, and they argued amongst each other on what to do with her. This makes me think of the missing 411 and how people randomly go missing at state parks. And David Paul Dees says the majority go missing around Boulder. What? I'm sorry. No, wait, this makes, my brain, my mind is blown because this makes a lot of sense. I've heard so many stories with duendes, and if you guys don't know what duendes is, I did make a video on them if you want to go check it out. But basically, there are these little beings who are very mischievous. I've heard so many stories where they take children that are not being taken care of, but for the most part they return them. And it's just crazy. I don't think I have the time right now to go in depth to this, but definitely let me know if you guys are interested in maybe me making a video on duendes. I feel like there's so many stories that you guys just need to hear. This next story is from Charlotte Dev. So I was 8 to 10 years old. I heard a door creak downstairs in the hallway. I always greet my mother, the only person I live with, when she decides to come upstairs. And I figured she had to have opened it for sure because I didn't hear any creak before then and my iPad was on low volume. After a few minutes, nothing happened. So I checked the hallway. The door was closed. I went upstairs again and saw my mom in her bedroom. I asked, "Did you hear the door creak a few minutes ago?" She replied, "Yeah, wasn't that you?" My eyes widened and she realized it wasn't me. We still don't know who that was. Another shorter story. So sometimes at night I hear scratches from the roof in my bedroom. The thing is, we don't have an attic. Oh, heck no. Okay, I got chills. Hi, if you do scary stories from the comments section, I have one. When I was about 5 or 6, I had an imaginary friend. I am so sorry. When I was about 5 or 6, I had an imaginary friend named Miss Scream. She was tall and her skin was whiter than snow. Her head was not attached to her body. It was floating above her neck. One day, I saw her in the hallway and she wasn't normal. Her head is spinning around. Normally, we would have been playing around and having fun, but this time she had a tall figure behind her like a shadow. Her head stopped spinning. It stared at me. Her mouth opened and she screamed and started pointing to me. I went to my room and locked the door. I could feel her banging on the door. I no longer see Miss Scream, but I always feel like someone's watching me in my room. I'm now 12 and I'm happy to share this story. I would have even been too scared to play with Miss Scream by what you describe her as. Wow, this is terrifying. Okay, guys, this next story is from Lisbeth Asuna Salcedo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This story isn't as juicy as the ones you have read, but it's a bit spooky. Around 2 years ago, I was living in this one house. I don't live there anymore. And my family had more family in another part of Arizona. Where they lived was around 1 hour away. One day, my whole family and I, minus my dad, he stayed home to take care of our pets and he had to work. Went to this place that my cousins and aunt lived at. We stayed there for about 3 days but left since my brother had court in the morning. I was around 8 or 9, so I still slept in the same bed as my parents. My family and I went home in the morning so my brother can go to court. When I walked into my room, my dad woke up and told me that he had sleep paralysis that night around 2 a.m. It was now 6 a.m. He said he heard someone jump on the bed and started scratching the pillows and moving around. He told me he thought it was me arriving home. I was still in a whole other city when this happened. He said he then felt scared and felt that there was something sinister in the room. He covered his head with a blanket yet still felt a presence. He told me he was paralyzed for a bit but eventually fell back asleep. I was creeped out but fell asleep. Later, around 8 a.m., I woke up and froze. I didn't hear or see anything, but I felt a sinister presence in the room. That was the first time I had ever experienced sleep paralysis. Also, my brother and dad said that whenever they slept on the couch, they felt creeped out and sometimes even got sleep paralysis, so there was definitely something in the house. In my new house, no one has ever gotten sleep paralysis from my family. Okay guys, that is the end of the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have a scary story that you want to share, please leave it in the comments as well so that we can add it in future videos. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for following me, for liking my videos and always commenting. And to all the people who said they miss me, I don't know, you guys just make me feel amazing. Thank you so much. I love you guys so much. Bye.